Hey guys, another video kind of update for how things are going with my adventures here in Japan. I was going to wait a little bit until doing another one until I really had something to say as far as how the business is going, but today is actually the day that 10 years ago I moved to Japan. So it's crazy how fast time passes, and like a lot of people, I feel like I look back in the 10 years and I realize well, first 10 years have passed, right? That's always kind of momentous to read. That's kind of a milestone for a lot of things in life. But I also look back on how I used my time and what I've done in that time, because anyone who's moved abroad can tell you that you perceive the time that's passing since that moment you leave your country in kind of a different way than you would back home. It's just kind of how it goes, because it is such a massive change on so many levels. So that's given me kind of pause for reflection, and I guess for the most part I feel I've used my time fairly well. Um, I've it's funny when you do get down to taking action on something, there's this tendency to feel like, why didn't I do this earlier? Like, if I'd started this even a year earlier, let alone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years earlier, I would be so much further ahead. So that's inevitable, I guess. I just came across this saying on another YouTube channel. The channel is called Refusing to Settle, which is he's a really interesting guy. Puts out a lot of great content. Very heartfelt dude. And he was saying there's a saying in China that the best time to plant a tree is 10,000 years ago, and the second best time is today. So regardless of when you do it, once you've taken action, that's the best thing you can do. So if anyone out there is kind of thinking like, gosh, what should I do? Because I know if you're working for someone else as an English teacher in Japan, and in the case may be true other places, I would imagine it is, um, your prospects are kind of narrow. After a little while you realize like this is what you're going to be doing, and that's true, wherever you are. When you sign on for a job, that's what you do, and that's what you're going to be doing. Some positions offer more opportunity for upward mobility, as they say, than others, but by and large, you're always going to be under something. So that becomes very noticeable when you're working in a foreign country, not dispatched by a company in your own country, but actually hired on somewhere else in a foreign country. You really begin to realize kind of the shape of your situation. So um, if you are considering starting your own school or pursuing some kind of business opportunity, the very, very best thing you can do for yourself is to just get started. It can be something small. I remember when I was working at my last job as an employee, I took advantage of PowerPoint presentations, and I just built slides of how I wanted to arrange my school, just something small like that to kind of get your energy and your momentum going in a certain direction. And then, of course, you should really make every effort to learn the language wherever you are. Being even a little bit bilingual gives you opportunities that are like magnitudes above what you're able to do when you only speak one language. It may not make you a millionaire, but it could. But the point is, so in my case, by studying Japanese, I was able to run my own school by myself. I'm not saying it's easy, like, yeah, just go learn Japanese. It's not like that. It does take a little bit of time, but the key is taking action, just a little bit at a time. Even just write down on a piece of paper, I'm going to learn 3 words a day, and you can use your iPhone and um, set a notice on Google Calendars, to repeat every day. What are your 3 words for today? And that's going to show up in your display, and do it, and you can up the ante. You say 10 words a day, right? And as time passes, it's, what's the word here? The determiner of the intelligence of your investment, whatever it is. If it's starting a business, learning a language, or even investing with money, the determiner is the passage of time. And working with that, you know, time is pretty organized. We know how much time there is in a day, and how much there is in an hour, down to a second, right? And even beyond that. Scheduling things, scheduling goals, and just sticking to it. It doesn't have to be this over-the-top, you know, insane level of effort where you're sleeping 3 hours a night and you know can't even remember what you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't have to be like that. But the key is consistency and just doing it, doing it, doing it. I remember when I was back home, shortly after I'd met my wife, and well, she was my girlfriend at the time, but I was pretty sure we were going to stick together, and I was pretty sure I was going to have to make the decision, like, go to Japan or not. And anyways, I got a sales job, and it was so stressful, and I felt so bombarded by getting all these qualifications and studying and getting up to speed on product knowledge, and then there's learning how to like talk to people on the phone, and it was a lot. But looking back, like it really wasn't, like, compared to starting your own business. They just handed everything to you. So one part is perspective, you know, and then just keeping that understanding that like every business you see was started by somebody, and they probably struggled a lot. There's so much behind the scenes effort and struggle and time that you just can't see. As Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, says, it's really funny how every overnight success generally takes about 10 years, right? So anyways, this sales job, one thing my manager said to me, and he was successful. He was a hardcore, old school sales dude. He said, just keep plugging away, you know. That's what it comes down to. Even in one of their training videos, he said, just keep swinging the hammer, right? Today you do 1,000 swings, tomorrow 1,000 swings. At the end of the month, you know, if you're just doing a Monday through Friday gig, it's going to be 20,000 swings, right? And nothing can replace swinging the hammer. There's no shortcut. So the more you put in now, the more you'll have in the future. So yeah, kind of a semi-on-topic, sort of off-topic, more broadly focused video. But it's just something I wanted to share. Today is kind of a special day in my own experience. And I'm curious what the next 10 years will bring, right? I came over here when I was 25. Now I'm 35, and I'm going to be 36 in another 10 days. So life goes on. It's crazy, you know. But I'm going to say this honestly. If you're a native English speaker and you have any kind of motivation at all, things are going to be so much easier for you. Okay, capitalize on that. And remember that. There's a lot of people out there in circumstances where they're going to have to work 10 times harder just to get where you are now. All right? So don't be hard on yourself. Don't get down on yourself. Don't get stressed out. Just start putting in a little bit of action every day, whatever it is. Decide on something. And the crazy thing is with YouTube, you have access to so many mentors. There's so many people out there with so much knowledge. They're just giving it away. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to subscribe to, well, it might help to subscribe to channels, but it's never been easier to make things happen than it is now in 2017. And speaking of the internet, it's probably a good direction to go, even if it's just for promoting your own local operation. There's so much happening online internationally. So anyways, I'm going to try to keep another 10 minutes here. So there it is. 10-year mark in Japan. I made it this far, and hopefully things will continue to develop in a positive direction from here on out. So thank you as always to those of you who do watch, and for any newcomers, please feel free to subscribe, comment, stay engaged. I really just want to kind of throw things out there and contribute to helping people out. So there it is for this time. Until next time, goodbye.